My name is Jeremy Frey. I'm a Passamaquoddy tribal member. I'm a basket maker and contemporary artist. Welcome to my studio. Basketry has been in my family for generations. We say 7, but basketry's been around a lot longer than that. My grandfather was really well known for his pack baskets, utility baskets in general, like potato baskets, creel, peck baskets, all kinds of different larger pieces. The pack baskets are generally either free-handed or made on forms that have ribbing, so they're like hollow, solid forms, just because of the size. The fancy baskets are made on forms that are collapsible, most of them. Anything that weaves in, so if the mold gets encapsulated by the weave, you have to be able to get the mold out, and so it comes apart. The way I was able to express myself through the art was when I was able to make my own forms. At the show, Woven, you could see the older pieces were either made on multiple forms to get larger shapes, or they were smaller, or they were half made on one form. There was a change in the process, and it's evident in the final product once I started making and using these larger puzzle molds. And I'm always trying different techniques. Like I make some forms and it's like putting 2 forms together. So, but even then, if it's a 40-pound form and you're trying to weave, you can't. I used to weave in my lap, but when they're 30 inches long, they'll just fall out of your lap. They're heavy, your legs hurt. So my largest pieces are still, the tops are still freehanded, because you pull the mold out and then you weave the top in freehand. Now, when you do that, the basket sort of relaxes its own. It has it's imperfect, and I prefer to strive for perfection in design. Now, you'll never fully get there, especially with natural materials. But I also like to push scale, and so when it's like this whole. This basket's an acorn basket, and originally they're made in braided braided sweetgrass. I started making them braided cedar bark because the cedar bark is the brown of an acorn cover. It's the same color. Plus, it was more contemporary material, even though it's still natural. It's just most people don't use braided cedar. So your average acorn basket has a cover that goes outside the basket and sits over. It looks like an acorn cap, but this basket sits inside. And so what I did was I took the acorn and I made the outside lip on the acorn, so that when you put the inset cap on there, it still has the full. First time I've ever done that. This point weave came from my mother, which came from her teacher, Sylvia Gabriel, and she brought it back from some older design. She was really well known for the point weave. And hers were undyed. They were just these white, solid point baskets. But yeah, I love the way when you use color and light, I love the way you can just... They're so multifunctional. They'll cover up certain colors and show other colors, and they shine differently when they're curled. And you can move the points around so that they line up differently. And the baskets are made of black ash. It's regionally known as brown ash. We use the growth year. It's the ring of the tree. Um, we pound the tree apart, and then when you pound it, it breaks the fiber between the growth here, and so you get this solid piece of fiber, which is different than any other type of weaving material you can possibly have, because there is no cross graining, so there's no weak spot, and when you cut the pieces to weave with, you're actually following the fiber and separating it. And so every piece of wood, whether it's going this way or going this way, the fiber goes that way. So, I tell people you could take a 1/4 inch weaver and pull a truck with it, because it's straight fiber. Whereas if it was angled, if you had cut it off physically, because you're pulling it, if you deviate from the grain, you'll have weak spots because the grain will go across. So the way that it's processed is really important. We have 3 main types of ash in Maine. We have white ash, green ash, and black ash. This tree, assuming that it were straight, and it's not super straight, that's the size. That's a great size, a pretty good bark. Now you can tell it's still corky, but where it's bigger, it's sort of changed. And depending on how fast the tree grows its rings, the bark will look differently. So like a really thick growth ring tree will look differently than a thinner growth ring tree on the bark. It feels like cork. So it just comes off, right? Do the same thing over here. That one did, but it doesn't. It's just drier and everything else. Brown ash is chosen because it's hard. It's a hardwood. It's very traditionally used. It's sacred to our people. It's said that's where our people are from. We come from the ash tree. But beyond that, it has properties that no other wood I've ever used has. And it's hardwood, but it's soft. It's rubbery and flexible. It takes dyes well. You can get so many tones and shades of it. It smells amazing. The emerald ash borer is killing the trees. And I thought that was kind of ironic for me, that I found this career that I've always done art, but I found this career that I was very successful at. And then as I get to the peak of that, all my material is going to die. One of the things I've done to combat it is harvest way more material than I use and store it, so that when I can't get trees anymore, which hopefully is 10, 15 years away, but when I can't get them, I can move into this massive stockpile of material and just continue. The only thing with that is I'll be getting older, and pounding ash is a great exercise, keeps you young. So I'll miss out on that. I'll probably get a little fatter, but what are you gonna do? Weaving is very binary. It's like coding on a computer. It's ones and zeros. It's over under, because all it is you get your ribs and you go over under. That's the basis of it. And it seems really constricting. And it is in essence, but my work has evolved off of every piece. So it didn't get, without 50 other pieces, the piece I'm making now wouldn't exist. And it's because of that sort of rigid nature. It's like how do you innovate in something that's so concretely, it has to hold together. It's a very specific, everyone's done it. Every culture in the world has done it for tens of thousands of years. So, one of my, and I didn't really think about it at the time. I was just trying to make things different from the Passamaquoddy community, just to stand out in a big market. But most weaving materials they dissolve and disappear over time. So I don't know this for a fact, but I take a little comfort in thinking that in such a basic thing as weaving, and such a structured thing as weaving, I'm hoping that the things I'm making today have never in tens of thousands of years been seen before. And I just think that is so cool. To reinvent something so ancient that's been done for so long. It's just, I get this, I just love it. And I hope that I can even go beyond that, you know, and I don't know, it's just a powerful thought. It might not be true, but I'm confident that it is.